Today I will be reacting to 11 weird things I had never seen before coming to Australia. This is gonna be very interesting. Let's go, let's just check out the video right away.
In this video, we're going to talk about the weirdest things I found in Australia that I had never seen before. Let's get started. The first thing is separate toilets and no bidets. In Australia, many houses are usually designed with the toilets separate from the main bathroom. So basically you have a little room just for the toilet and then...
Oh, my house is like that too! I live in an Aussie house! Yay!
the bathroom where you wash your hands, you have the mirror, the shower. And based on my research, historically, this was done for practical reasons, to allow one person to use the toilet while another uses the bathroom.
That's my house!
And another reason, of course, is hygiene and privacy. And again, this is something super surprising because in my country, I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Ooh, Argentina, boludo!
And in my country, separate toilets don't exist. So when I first came here, especially I was living in a share house, and yeah, I found it very interesting, but at the same time, again, very practical, especially if you're living in a house with a lot of people, perhaps a big family with children. You don't have to wait for your turn to use the toilet. You just can go and then another person can have a shower in the separate bathroom.
Yeah, but the problem is never that one. The problem is always taking turns when you have to shit. That's the worst.
And another thing in relation to this, in relation to bathrooms and toilets, and this is something that I had first seen in the US, and then when I came to Australia again, it surprised me because it's not usual here either. It's bidets, or we call them bidet. Yeah, that was another huge difference. In my country, Argentina, bidets are basically an essential part of the bathroom, and in many European countries,
even in Italy, yes,
as well. But yeah, in Australia, they don't exist. And I remember I was so surprised that I told my friends about it, and they were like, "Oh, that's disgusting. How come they don't have bidets?" Then I told my Aussie friends about the bidets, and they find disgusting the fact that we have bidets as well. So it's a very interesting cultural difference. And yeah.
Bro, how? How do you find bidet disgusting? I mean, after you take a huge shit, you know, you can skip and find some more PG content, but after you take a huge shit and then you just sit down and clean yourself, it's so much better. You're fresh like a rose, ready to go on with your days. The best thing in the world, bidet, come on.
I don't know, it's something that caught my attention. The second thing that I found very weird is Vegemite. Aussies love their Vegemite.
What is that?
And again, this is one of the weirdest things that I've come across. And if you don't know what it is, this is a spread that is made of brewer's yeast extract, a byproduct of beer manufacturing, that you can put on a piece of toast, crackers, sandwiches. And I remember the first time that I tried Vegemite. It wasn't actually here in Australia, but it was 1 year before coming here. I was studying English with an Aussie teacher, and I remember that he brought Vegemite for me to try.
Bro, that's
at the
crazy.
When I looked at it, I hadn't tried it yet. When I looked
Wow.
at it, I thought it was yummy because it reminded me of chocolate, right?
Yeah, like Nutella.
Vegemite, it looks like Nutella. And then, of course, I gave it a try. He put it on a piece of toast. Basically, you have just to put a bit of butter, then a bit of Vegemite. And I tried it, and yeah, my face, it was basically lemon face. It was the weirdest thing that I had ever tried in my life. Now I like it. I don't eat it every day, but I do live with my Aussie partner, and Vegemite is an essential item in the house, in the fridge. And to give you an idea, it basically tastes very salty, kind of bitter as well. And an interesting fact as well is that Vegemite apparently was born in the 1920s in Melbourne, and it was
I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to try right now. I mean, the butter gives you that sweet, I mean, the bread is a little bit sweet, then the butter is sweet as well. Vegemite is salty, so it could create a nice combination. I don't know. Maybe I would like it. I don't know if we have it here in Italy. Probably not.
an attempt to replicate the British Marmite, which I haven't tried.
Marmite? What is that?
Because when I read this interesting fact to my partner, he got very offended. So please don't blame it on me. This is on the internet. I don't know whether it is true or not. You can, leave a comment below and tell me what you think.
100 mighty years.
When I first came to Australia, is the fact that alcohol is sold separately. So you won't find alcohol in supermarkets. I remember the first time that I went to a supermarket to get a bottle of wine.
No, I don't like that.
30 minutes going around just looking for the alcohol section, right? And I just I couldn't find it, and until I asked, and of course I realized that there was a bottle shop outside. Apparently this is a measure that they've taken to limit excessive alcohol drinking. As I've said in other videos, Australia is known for having a strong drinking culture, and that's why there are high taxes on alcohol, and also it seems that that's the reason why they have separate bottle shops. Whereas in my country, in Argentina, as well as in many European countries, when you go to the supermarket, you'll always find the alcohol section right in there. We don't have
that was everywhere in the world.
So that's an interesting difference and something that now I've gotten used to it, but yeah, it's still a bit, I don't know, weird. Again, another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact
but her English is so perfect. I wish my accent sounded as good as hers.
that Australians
Are
place
rubbish.
stuff that they don't want on the street outside their home. And this practice is called hard rubbish collection. And most of these items are usually pieces of furniture or appliances that people put outside their homes for other people to come and pick them up, or for a truck to pick it up.
Really?
And to be honest, many of these items are usually in really good shape. I know many people who basically make a living
Why?
out of that. They go and collect, I don't know, a couch that perhaps is in good condition or just a bit dirty. They clean it up or they refurbish it, and then they sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and they made a lot of money. So yeah, perhaps it's
Then why are you so stupid to throw it away if you can sell it and make money out of it, bro?
a good business idea if you want to explore that. Another thing that I found very surprising when I first came to Australia is the fact that there are very, very hefty fines for putting your feet on public transport seats. And these fines actually go up to 288 Australian dollars.
I mean, I never do that,
of
but
course it makes sense, right? I don't think anywhere in the world it's polite or respectful to put your feet on the seat, right? On the public transport seat where other people are going to sit. It's basic good manners. But I had never seen that they actually fine you for that, and such, again, hefty fines. So yeah, that's something that caught my attention. Housewarming parties. Now, I remember the first time that I was invited to a gathering here in Australia, and that was actually a housewarming party. And I remember when I got that invitation, I was a bit confused because I was like, what is a housewarming party? I had to Google it, right? And I'm sure that
I don't know
parties
either.
are very normal in many countries, but at least not in
Italy.
So, again, for me, this was...
I mean, Argentina is pretty much the same as Italy, so whatever she says is probably gonna be the same for me.
It's weird. And if you don't know what a housewarming party is, let me explain very quickly. This is basically a tradition where you invite your friends to come see your new home. Basically, when you move to a new house, you have a gathering with drinks, finger food, etc., and you show your friends your new place. That's basically it. I feel that it's an excuse to just have a gathering and drink with your mates, and that's perfectly fine. I actually love housewarming parties, so much so that in my previous place...
I mean, I guess that's kind of normal. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was a thing though. I mean, yeah, I guess when you move to a new house, you will invite your friends to see the house. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I didn't know there was a name for it. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm in a new house, so I invite my new friends to see it. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Back in 2019, before the pandemic, I hosted a onesie housewarming party. We were 35 adults, all wearing onesies and yeah, having snacks, chatting.
35!
It was super fun, and yeah, since then I love housewarming parties.
What the hell?
It was a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's talk about the
That's
healthcare
crazy.
system and doctors in Australia.
Okay.
Because this is something that, as well, it really surprised me when I first came here. To be honest, I was a bit confused. Now, if you want to know about the healthcare system in Australia, I have a whole dedicated video about it. I think it's going to make your life easier. Now, in my country, in Argentina, and I know many European countries are exactly the same, when you have an ailment, when you're feeling sick, perhaps you have a tummy issue, you usually go to the specialist directly. You go to the gastroenterologist, right? That's the case in my country. Whereas here in Australia, your first point of contact is your GP, your general practitioner. Basically, a doctor.
Oh, that's the same in Italy. It's the same in Italy. You always go to your personal doctor, and then he will write you a recipe to go to the specialist.
That does general practice.
Because you won't pay if you go there.
They do everything. It's general medicine. And then perhaps they're going to give you a prescription, refer you for x-rays, etc. Now, if your tummy ache gets worse over time and the issue doesn't get resolved, then your GP is going to refer you to a specialist. But your first point of contact here in Australia is a GP. Another example, if you have to go to the gynecologist and have a pap smear, here in Australia, again, you go to your GP first. Whereas in my country, you usually go to the gynecologist first, and you're going to have your own gynecologist, your specialist, and you have all the tests. The gynecologist does everything for you. Whereas here in Australia,
That comes as a surprise. I thought it was the same everywhere in the world. I mean, in Italy, the healthcare system is exactly like Australia. You always go to the general practitioners and then you will write your recipe or whatever you need to go. Wow, that's such a surprise. I didn't know you it was so weird, for me to just go directly. I don't know. I feel a problem. Have a problem that you need to see like a urologist or whatever. You go directly there. Oh, that's pretty weird, right? I don't know. I mean, that's really a surprise.
you are going to go to the GP or a nurse, perhaps, and they're going to do that for you. Something
Sometimes
interesting.
weird things are weird for others.
Difference. Okay, another thing that really surprised me when I first came to Australia was Australian football.
Ooh.
It has so many.
We got plenty of reactions to that. Oh, sorry, the focus went away. We got plenty of reactions to that. So yeah, definitely check them out.
Names,
You can find them in the channel.
Anyway, I remember the first time I was here, I got my apartment, I turned the TV on, and there was a footy match going on. For me, it was a big surprise. And to be honest, at the time, I hadn't even heard about footy. Yeah, it was a mix of rugby and soccer, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. It's basically neither. It's just a unique sport, very unique again to Australia, and Aussies love it, especially here in Melbourne. Most of my Australian colleagues as well, they're super fans of Collingwood, Richmond, Essendon. It's very interesting. I've been to 2 footy matches. What I really liked is the family environment. It's very family oriented. Rivals can sit next to each other. There's no aggression.
Oh, that's nice.
When I compare it to the Argentinian team or when you compare it to England, they're much more. Yeah, it's another
Even in Italy.
kind of passion, if you want. But here in Australia, it's more family oriented, and that's something that I really appreciate and I do like. Another thing that surprised me about Australia is the fact that it's compulsory for school kids to always wear sun protective hats outside. Of course, the reason for this is that Australia has some of the highest UV levels in the world. So it's a measure, again, that for me was surprising because when I was in school, I didn't have to wear a hat. It wasn't compulsory, but at the same time, it makes complete sense. So it's actually really, really good. And another thing in relation to the Australian school dress code, if you want, is the fact that school kids have to carry very big bags. So you see the little 7-year-old carrying a bag that's almost bigger than them. And I don't know, it's weird. In my
Me too, when I was in school, I used to do that. It was so much bigger than me, the bag.
But in my opinion, carrying a lot of weight at that age probably poses some kind of risk for the kid's posture. I'm not sure. You can leave a comment if you know more about this. Growing up, in my case, all kids have the wheelie bags. We basically use that. So yeah, that was another thing that I found weird, surprising. I don't know if it's good or bad.
But I mean, that's the parents. If they want, they can just buy them the trolley, no? I guess.
But it's interesting, I guess. Okay, another thing that I think it's weird, surprising, is the unique wildlife here in Australia.
Yes.
Of course, before coming here, you always hear about the kangaroos and the koalas, and these are very unique animals indeed. I don't think there are animals like these marsupials anywhere else in the world. But something that many people know, and I include myself when I first came here, is that there are many more unique animals beyond the kangaroo and the koala. There are wallabies, quokkas, wombats. So every time I go hiking and every time I come across one of these animals, I find it very fascinating. It kind of tells you about the unique geography and diversity in Australia. I know that the quokkas are unique, for example, to Western Australia. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, it's so
And to be honest, even when I
cute!
say kangaroo or wallaby, I still get very
Such a cute
excited,
animal.
even again after so many years of living here. Yeah, it's fascinating and it's very, very unique. Another thing that really surprised me about Australia, and perhaps it shouldn't have, considering how important the beach lifestyle is for this country, is that they have a beach safety education program called NIPERS. This is basically a program where kids as young as 5 years old learn about beach safety and rescue techniques. So
that's really nice.
In a coastal town in Australia, usually in the morning during weekends, you are probably going to come across all these kids being trained for the NIPERS program, basically being trained on life-saving techniques and, as I said, beach safety, etc. So yeah, it's something that I would have loved.
Bro, that reminds me of that. Oh my god, what was the name of that fucking show? Was it H2O? That there was all the little girls going to the beach every weekend, every day. It was an Australian show, I think. I used to watch it a lot when I was like 12 or 13.
To be able to have when growing up. I find it amazing, and of course again this reflects the importance of knowing how to swim. Here in Australia, that's super important. That's the one skill that you do need to learn if you're seeking that beach lifestyle, I guess. So those are the things that I find interesting, surprising, weird about Australia as a migrant. And yeah, let me know what's your opinion about them. If you have any surprising things that you've seen here, what do you think about these cultural differences? And if you want to watch similar videos about life in Australia, what it is like
Yes,
to
I
live
do.
here, watch these videos here and here. And
Okay, I'm gonna definitely subscribe to Living Simply Australia. Okay, that was really interesting. The thing that got most of my attention was the yeast thing called Vegemite. Wow, I wonder if they sell it in Italy. I don't know. I definitely want to try it. Oh my god. Let me know what it tastes like, if it's your favorite food or whatever. I mean, she said before it's a huge part of like it's an essential object in any Aussie house. So probably, yeah, you have tried it and eat it every day. So yeah, I don't know. Just let me know. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Even if it's a little bit expensive, maybe I will buy it and try it. Definitely. So yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my reaction. If you have any other recommendations, all are welcome. Just write down below in the comment section and I will react to your favorite video very soon. See ya!